and give yourself gold, because a little victory is still a victory. Championing your health.
Good evening and welcome to the Town of Rockland Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. Please stand and join us in Pledge of Allegiance. Selectman Ryan, can you lead the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be advised that this open meeting is being broadcast live and recorded by WRPS for playback on Comcast Channel 14 and Verizon Channel 31. It's also available live online at wrpsrockland.com/TV and with 4 hours via video on demand at www.youtube.com/WRPSRockland. Please go to wrpsrockland.com for further information. First on the agenda, community announcements. Doug?
I have none.
Okay. Next, number 3, minutes. Review and approval of minutes of September 7, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Okay. Next on the agenda, new business. Plymouth County Commissioners, CARES Act, and ARPA update. Jared, Greg?
How you doing, guys?
Good to see you. How are you?
Good.
Great to see you guys.
Great to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's an honor for us to be here today. It's in the past 19 months, I think, Doug, we've been here with at least 7 times with about 50 checks of different varieties. Tonight, we're here to talk about CARES in ARPA, but a couple of other programs that we have. Originally, when we scheduled this meeting, I was still chairman of the board. I recently had to step down because of my new role over in the town of Holbrook as town administrator. But I was already committed to the schedule, and Sandra had already made it. Sandra will be the new chair, and Jared is our lead commissioner when it comes to CARES and ARPA. So with that, I'll let him speak briefly about the remaining funds that we have left on CARES, and then the rollout of ARPA and what it means to the town.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanley. To the members of the Board of Selectmen, it's great to be in Rockland. It was a long commute up the street. First of the CARES Act, of course, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of folks that are really pining for the American Rescue Plan Act. But one of the things that we've been doing as we've been going around now is highlighting the CARES Act program. So I think this should be in your binders. I gave them to Sue earlier. Just say Plymouth County CARES Act by the numbers, and it's a breakdown of just how beneficial this program has been to the town of Rockland and the member communities of Plymouth County. There were quite a few slings and arrows and a lot of derision thrown at Commissioner Hanley and my predecessor, Commissioner Pilata, as well as Commissioner Wright, about Plymouth County doing this program. They didn't have the capacity, they didn't have the capability, they didn't have the bandwidth to handle it. One of the things I started noticing as I started doing some comparisons of similar sized towns, and again, CARES Act money was apportioned on a very simple formula of by population. What I started realizing was not only did communities in Plymouth County receive more money than those outside of Plymouth County, it was significantly more money. In the case of Rockland, Rockland's cap was 54% greater than similar sized communities outside of Plymouth County. Rockland's cap was 2.8 million, South Hadley 1.5 million. How about speed? A lot of folks have said that perhaps we may have been a little slow, the processing may have been difficult. Well, Rockland's received 93% of their money to date so far. South Hadley, only 43% of their money from the state so far. Plymouth County has also done this at less than 1%, and I think Commissioner Hanley and I would be remiss in not mentioning Treasurer O'Brien and his staff for all the hard work that they've done to actually deliver this program at less than 1%. Just to give you an idea, that has been lauded not just by the state, but nationally as being one of the lowest costs to administer this program in the entire nation. And by doing that and making sure we have pushed for the administrative costs to be low has meant more money for Rockland in the member communities. Now, if you were to flip over to the backside, you'll start seeing some other comparisons. Of course, the one I like to point out would be the town of Whitman. Their comparable size community is Swampscott. For those who don't know, Swampscott is a hometown of Governor Baker. Whitman, 2.3 million, Swampscott, 1.3 million. And if you go down the line, another one that we're really proud of is the city of Brockton. Brockton's cap, 18 million. They've received 13 million of that so far. Compare that to New Bedford's 8 million, they've only received 25%. So New Bedford's received less money slower than the city of Brockton. When it's all said and done, Brockton will receive more money than Worcester and Springfield as it's compared to the state. And you see on the bottom there the final fund balance. Of course, Plymouth County was 83 million, and the comparable size to other communities was 45 million. I say was, and I've said Rockland's cap was, because we are pleased to announce, as of our last meeting Thursday evening, you see that there was $7 million held aside for some other commitments, and we've realized that some of those are not going to come to fruition. So we have voted to allocate Phase 7. So Rockland, and I have to laud Doug, Jen, Biz, you guys, the town of Rockland has been easily one of the top participants in this program, as you can tell by 93% of your money already in. I'm pleased to report that you will no longer be capped at 2.8 million. Your cap is going to be updated by another $250,000 from Plymouth County. And the new cap will be $3,106,668. And that is the first this information has been disseminated anywhere. So we decided to embargo that until the new house before my hometown, I guess. But that's the CARES program. I do like to just urge, and anybody listening, the CARES program still goes till December 31st. The American Rescue Plan Act is a 3-year program. So I often quip that the CARES Act is like Plymouth County's firstborn. ARPA is like our secondborn. Don't forget the firstborn. Use it. We want you to spend it. Commissioner Hanley's heard me say this a million times. The last thing I want to do is give anything back to the federal government. So, and I will tell you, Biz is on the phone with Treasurer O'Brien, as is Doug and the rest of the team, making sure that Rockland's money is being processed. And we are grateful. As I mentioned at the top, a lot of slings and arrows were taken by Plymouth County, but this program would not have been as successful if it wasn't for the participation of towns like Rockland and the rest of the 26 member communities. And I think it tells a fantastic story. So if there are no other questions, I should ask through the chair if there are any questions on the CARES Act.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
No, I mean, the only comment, obviously, is, Jared just kind of justifies what our leadership that we have in place now is doing. To be among the top with 93% already in house. That's a testament to Jen and Doug and Biz and all the department heads getting the information in, getting it out, getting it processed. So just want to say thank you, and for you guys doing the due diligence and making sure that everything's turning around quickly. So thank you.
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, Rich. To the point of the due diligence, one of the other things, and I leave this out of the handout, towns outside of Plymouth County that had to deal with the state were given a check, and they were given the regulations, and they were told, hey, make sure you comply. And then eventually the state would get around to doing their compliance. And then there are plenty of stories across the Commonwealth where the state did their due diligence and called the town and said, hey, we screwed up, you got to give that money back. So one of the things we made sure of as a county, and again, some to the speed level, is when we're giving you that money, it's done, it's dusted, you don't have to worry about it, you're not returning it, it's never going to be called back because of that due diligence. And I do have to comment, because Tom has, Treasurer O'Brien has mentioned this often, in terms of submissions, Biz and Doug in Rockland is one of the cleanest. I don't want to say one of the easiest, because it's a very onerous scope and program, but in terms of the depth of detail and the attention to detail, it has certainly made the Treasurer's office job more easy. And I agree, it's a testament to the leadership in the town of Rockland that you've been able to get this much money as quickly as you have. But you've also, at least for Plymouth County, made our lives a little easier too.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing none.
Thank you. And then just the American Rescue Plan Act. So Selectman Nyman, who serves on our advisory board, and we appreciate her service, and I would be remiss being at a selectman meeting to not mention Former Selectman Mike Mullen, who served very admirably on our advisory board for 5 years. For those who might not know what that is, county government is structured. We're the executive branch, the advisory board's our legislative branch. We can't function without them, and Selectman Mullen was on the executive board of that, so he was a very important piece to Plymouth County for his tenure on the Rockland Board of Selectmen as well, and we certainly want that to, we certainly don't want that to go unnoticed. So, as it relates to the American Rescue Plan Act, be advised, I think Selectman Nyman, I think Doug and Biz should have received notice that we are going to have a series of calls next Tuesday afternoon to unveil and roll out our American Rescue Plan Act program. As you know, some towns did receive, every town received money directly. Counties did also have the ability to administer their own portion of it. Plymouth County, as well as this time, we went it alone with CARES, and we did so well that Norfolk, Bristol, and Barnstable got a little jealous. Now they're joining us. So the 4 somewhat remaining counties in Massachusetts will all be unified in effort as we administer the American Rescue Plan Act. There will be a series of calls next week to go over what that scope is going to be from us. I can tell you broad strokes that every program that the law allows is going to be available. I've had conversations with Doug and with others, and we're excited to see where this program goes. Where CARES was more of a reactionary, reimbursable program, the American Rescue Plan Act is definitely a little bit more forward-thinking. And again, one of the things that we urge with the American Rescue Plan is to remember it's 3 years. It's going to be tempting to want to spend millions of dollars at once, but there's plenty of time, and there's no hurry. And Plymouth County is excited to partner once again with Rockland and with the other member communities to execute that program as well.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Good.
I have one question.
Sure.
So could you just clarify what the ARPA funds can be used on?
So the scope that the American Rescue Plan Act can be used for is revenue replacement, hazard duty pay, but that's a caveat to hazard duty pay. It has to be your lowest paid employees first, so you can't, there's a formula. We can use it for water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure, and I always blank on the 4th one, Mr. Hanley, so you might be able to help me there.
Yeah, put me on the spot. Yeah.
No, I think broadband's the 4th. So those are your 4 main points. There are some other little tentacles that come out from that, for lack of a better term. The other thing to remember with the American Rescue Plan Act right now is it's the interim final rule. Of course, what does interim mean? It could change. So we will be ready to adapt to that changing scope. We had a meeting with our fellow county commissioners, as well as the attorney and CPA auditor we brought on board. They gave us a presentation of what the website and portal is going to look like. So similar, I think, to the CARES Act, where the administrator of that logs in, submits everything. It's going to be the same thing with the American Rescue Plan. You'll be able to log in, and if you want to do revenue replacement, you plug in all the information, and it will tell you, yeah, you're good to go to the next review, or no, you need to do a little bit more homework. And that is to protect, obviously, the county, but also the subrecipients as well, which the town will be.
I think it's important to mention that under the main items, there are 27 subsets. So the beauty of APA is really community standards. So if you look at the whole program and digest it all and then plug it into what fits your community, you'll be allowed to draw down on that. The beauty of the way it's set up now, we've retained Mintz Levin as our attorney, so you will get instant information as to whether or not you're eligible for that. If you have a program that already exists, that's fine, but you look at it as an opportunity to create programming around available funds, because if you read the act and what the allowable uses are, you can really build programming that starts with infrastructure first, and then you can build a program around it. So there's opportunities galore. Jared is the lead guy on it, along with our team. As you can see, Tom is the only certified treasurer in the Commonwealth for counties, and he has been the lead, and he is the guy that really has driven the bus here. So APA is a great opportunity for you over the next 3 years to properly plan for these one-time revenues. And whether it's water, sewer, or broadband, you have an opportunity to make it a one-time impact. I know you have a lot going on with the airbase still. There may be opportunities to create economies of scale by these one-time funds. So leverage them and take your time to do it. Like he said, You could spend it all in 1 week, but who knows where the variant's going?
Right.
Because there's still provisions for expanded PPE and relief there. So if there's no more questions on ARPA, there are just 3 programs that I'd like to suggest, Doug, that you consider with Plymouth County. One is Plymouth County OPEB Trust. Plymouth County OPEB Trust was started in 2015 and now has over 36 government units involved in other post-employment benefits. And I'll give you an example. 4 years ago, I'm on the Board of Governors at Quincy College. I'm the chairman of finance. And we recommended, it was recommended to us to make an investment of $1.9 million to address the college's OPEB needs. We all have to be in compliance by 2029. In 4 years, $1.4 million was a return on investment on that investment. And if you think about that municipally, what it means to you, it may not be on your radar screen now because everyone's COVID crazy and dealing with ARPA, but there are other opportunities while rates are what they are and the market is what it is to get high rates of return. So look at that program. We're more than willing to come down and give you a very comprehensive program of what it means. We analyze your current situation, your current rate of return, and then we just show you the facts for the last 5 years on what Plymouth County's program has done. So it's a program that we think is time for you to take a look at. You've looked at it in the past. It may not have fit because we were in our infancy. Now we have a 5-year proven track record that is, you can compare it to any other program in the country, quite frankly, and it's administered by U.S. Bank. The next program is Mayflower Municipal Health Group. You were a member of Mayflower Municipal Health. You paid a significant fee to withdraw from that and got no benefit for it. It may be time, if your situation is not as great because don't have a great option on a la carte menu of providers, give us a call on Mayflower. We can pitch it the same way. It's governed by member communities, much way advisory is. You folks own plan design. We just administer the program, but we cobble together all of the quotes so that every year we're using the power of 27 communities and beyond. We have other government units outside of Plymouth County that are participating in it. It's something that, again, we're willing to come and pitch to you. It's something worthy of taking a look at. And then lastly, the vehicle bid. The Plymouth County vehicle bid is unfortunately, it's a secret, but for those who take advantage of it, the return of investment for you is a much lower rate, and at the same time, you're creating revenue opportunity for the county, which affects your assessment. So if we can lower our costs, your assessment will be lower. So it's kind of a win-win. You're getting the best possible price. It's better than state vehicle bid, and you're going to get opportunities that are more catered towards your needs. The only problem, as you probably know, Doug, is the availability of vehicles right now because of the chip shortage. It's global, but we still have vendors that are on the state bid as well as people who are not. They're just on the Plymouth County bid. So those are 3 programs we invite you to, at a future date, allow us to come in and pitch to you. It's all to the benefit of the residents of this town and the member communities, and that's why we're here, is to let you know that Plymouth County is a resource and it's relevant, and we're exploring other opportunities to make member communities achieve economies of scale by regionalization. So with that, I thank you for the opportunity. Jared said that if I went past 21 minutes, that
I don't run
was
this
trouble.
meeting. Mr. Chairman O'Loughlin does.
Yep.
Doug?
Thanks. I just had a couple of comments. One, I can attest to the efficiency of the vehicle bid, because the last town I was in, and a number of towns on the Cape would also participate in the Plymouth County bid, especially for public safety vehicles. So I concur with that. On the CARES Act, I also just wanted to highlight that we also work very closely with the school department. Our town accountant worked really closely with Jane Hackett, and a very significant portion of the additional CARES Act funding we're going to be getting is going to be going to the Rockland schools to help them with all the reopening issues they have. So I wanted to highlight that and also thank Jane and Dr. Cron for their work with us. And then lastly, on the ARPA funding, I know we've mentioned this before, but I'll just highlight again, I agree with everything that Jared said. We definitely want to be careful and not just spend it all at once, because it is one-time funding, but we do have urgent especially water infrastructure issues with PFAS. And as you all know, we're in a joint waterworks with the town of Abington. So I've mentioned it before, but I'll just say it again. We're in some preliminary discussions with them to use a portion of our first tranche from both Rockland and Abington to help meet some very critical DEP-imposed deadlines for filtration improvements that have to be made. And thankfully, this funding will be available, and it's an explicitly allowable use. So, yeah, we're looking forward to continuing to working with the county on ARPA, just like we did with CARES Act.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it as well.
Any other comments from the board? Any comments or questions?
Just want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys. Commissioner Hanley, I said it to you at one point. It took a lot of fortitude for you guys to do what you guys did as it came to the CARES Act, and I know that there were a lot of questions, a lot of people out there in the state that wanted to see you guys fail at it, and you guys proved them wrong. You guys are trendsetters, and the rest of the state is following your lead. Jared, you got Greg and Commissioner Wright, you guys did an exemplary job with this, and we're very proud to have you guys as our commissioners. You guys did a great job, and just the level of this presentation, the numbers that we saw in front of us, it proves that you guys did the right thing. So we appreciate the hard work. Jared, it's great to have you at a meeting, not on Zoom.
Yes, especially not on Zoom, for sure.
Last time didn't work out too well, but...
No, it didn't. Don't get Commissioner Hanley going on
That's a
Zoom.
touchy subject down in the county on Zoom.
Very touchy.
Yeah.
but no,
It's great to have
we
you here in
appreciate
person,
it, but
Jared.
We're happy to do it for our communities, and we're happy to continue to be able to work with you folks.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you so
We
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you so
Jared,
much.
by the way, you went a little longer.
No, that's because I let Commissioner Hanley go last.
I didn't think he was going to talk. I was surprised.
Respect for his elders.
The quietest I've ever heard him.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Good to see you, Greg.
All right, see you,
Good to see you, Jared.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Next on the agenda, holiday stroll. Pam Murphy and Dan Biggins.
Welcome.
How are you guys?
Thank you. It's going to be a hard act to follow, but
I know, right?
we'll try.
I think you'll do all right.
Yeah, I think so. We'll be short and sweet. This year, after a lot of consideration, a lot of research, and a lot of talking to a lot of people, we're going to try to bring the stroll back. The stroll takes a lot of planning, like you have to book certain things, so we're waiting to see if you support it, and then we're gonna proceed with the different bookings and figure out where we stand. Obviously, things are gonna have to be a little bit changed this year because of the situation and blah, 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 but as far as it's gonna be, of course, we're gonna have the North Pole and our hay rides and our critters and our whatever. So we're hoping that it's gonna go through and it's gonna be smooth. And I have talked to police, fire, park, highway, and they're all on board, as they are every year. And there is no way we could pull this off without the town coming together. And we really, really appreciate it. I wouldn't even think about doing it this year if we didn't have the support we have.
Each and every year.
Yeah.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Board of Selectmen. Thank you, Mr. Lapp. Thank you for having us tonight. Merry Christmas. We can say that. We're here to talk about we're here to talk about the stroll, so we can say that even in September. And just what Pam just sort of said, carrying on that a little bit. Chief Duffy's in the room. Chief Llewellyn, Dave Taylor for Highway, Peter Parkewell for Parks. All these people, businesses, citizens, organizations, coming through have really caused Rockland's holiday stroll to become what I would argue has been Rockland's really quintessential event of the year. It's been a really great time for people to come together to mark a holiday occasion. It's been really something special over the years, and despite all the work and all the hard work that the people that I have mentioned, she wouldn't ever pat herself on the back, but I'm here to do it for her. This lady sitting right next to me, the stroll would not exist, nor would it continue without Pam Murphy. There's a lot of work that goes into this and has gone into it over the years, and a lot of people who have dedicated a lot of time to this, but none more than Pam. And I want to thank her. It's good to call her a friend, but this event wouldn't exist, and just to think how many tens of thousands of smiles have been created during the holiday season because of the work that you and your team has done over the years. And I'm humbled in the few years that I've been involved with it to have been involved with it. But it really is just a great event. And last year, I think, was probably the only year that we weren't able to have it. And obviously, last year's events were quite unique, and we're really glad to be in a position to be able to offer the stroll to our town's youth again. And we haven't been anything less than surprised to have all the people that have been involved in the past be very supportive and excited about having the stroll again and being able to do sort of some of the things that we've done in the past, while also, I think, trying to keep it fresh every year and do something a little bit different, and keep people coming back and enjoying something that their parents and grandparents have, but also future generations can enjoy. It's been a great thing for my family to be involved with, being able to host the North Pole every year. In our business, it's not too often that we get to deal in smiles, and that's one occasion of the year that we really are able to welcome people into our family's home, and my wife and I, Danielle, are able to greet folks and be able to create an environment that sort of is reminiscent of what we imagine to be Santa's North Pole. So with your blessing, we're really looking forward to getting back to work and having just another amazing Rockland holiday stroll.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
So no questions, but comment is, I'm so glad that that this is coming back. You know, honestly, it sucked that last year we couldn't do it. So Pam, Dan, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, this is just, you know, as I was looking through, I'll say something later, but as I'm looking through the agenda today, I think this is one Board of Selectmen meeting coming up that I think by the end of it, it's going to be pretty damn good, to be honest with you, with some of the stuff coming up. So it's exciting. It's great to see it.
Thanks. With your blessing, we're going to proceed, but we do want to let people know, because of finances, we're probably going to end up doing a couple fundraisers. So we ask that everybody goes to the stroll, comes out and supports us if, in fact, we go forward. So it's up to you.
Yeah, so it is, and thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that. So people may have been notified via social media or other ways that we're looking for some help this year. We're looking for some volunteers, and we're looking to sort of grow and further organize the stroll for years to come, so that future generations will be able to enjoy this. You know, it'll survive Pam and I, and in years to come, people will be able to have this event going on down the road. And part of that is being able to fund it. It does cost some money to be able to have the stroll, so we want to work towards being able to make it sustainable. And please stay tuned, because in the days and weeks to come, we'll be looking and reaching out for some volunteer help. It's going to take a whole community to keep this thing going.
It is.
Anybody else? Any other questions or comments? Okay.
I just want to say thank you, and very much looking forward to seeing how it comes together. It's so wonderful for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's not necessarily anything that I think we have to vote on, but I think I will. I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the holiday stroll.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Thank
So
you.
guys, great
luck.
job. It's been mentioned a couple times. One of the things that's been talked about up here over the last year and a half or so is one of the things that we've missed the most is having the stroll, and one of the things that we were most looking forward to having come back was the stroll. So I was thrilled to see you guys on the agenda for the last meeting. Even more thrilled that you showed up to this one, and we look forward to it. And whatever we can do to help you guys out, please let us know. Don't hesitate.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next on the agenda, Fall Festival, one-day liquor license request, a change of hours, Recreation Director Jean Blaney, and Farmers Market Coordinator Allison Lee.
Nice to see you again.
Here we are. We'll be back at the next meeting, too.
Yeah, you guys should just...
You just become permanent on the agenda.
Well, I think what's interesting with everything that we've done between the farmers market and our fall festivals, we've learned a lot. And one of the things that we've learned is that with a liquor license, I guess if you say you're going to be somewhere at that certain time serving, I guess you need to change it if you change location and time. So that's what we're here tonight. And I believe before you is Barrel House Z. I believe we need to change their license. And we need the approval of the board in order to do that.
Entertain a motion? Change the hours to...
So moved.
From 10 to 2 to 1 to 5.
From 1 to 5, right?
Yeah.
1 to 5, from 10 to 2.
I'll second Larry's
I
motion.
got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Mike, you got the location, too?
Yeah, the location.
And the location would be on Union Street as opposed to at Hudson Park.
Correct.
Okay. So Larry's got a motion,
Larry's
Rich has a
hand never
second.
came down.
All those in favor?
Well, we're all for it.
That's
You guys are
unanimous.
doing a great job.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
People are having fun again.
Next on the agenda, Rockland High School Music Boosters Bottle and Can Drive Fundraiser, 10/2/2021, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Town Hall. Anybody in the room for that?
I guess nobody's here.
Okay. Doug?
Yeah, you pretty much said it.
Yeah, there it goes, okay.
I think it was just to give them an opportunity to, highlight to the community what they're doing, and we put it right on the agenda, October 2nd, 9 a.m. to noon at Town Hall. It's a bottle and can fundraiser for the high school music boosters.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
A motion is, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? That's unanimous as well. Okay. Next on the agenda, request for change of officers, 99 Restaurants of Boston LLC and 99 West LLC.
So there's no one here from the 99, which they let us know ahead of time, which is okay, in my opinion. All the paperwork's in order. It's already been preliminarily approved by the ABCCs, which is really all you need to worry
Motion to
about.
approve. Then we'll
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? That's unanimous. Next on the agenda, Rockland High School District-wide Pink Out Day on
keep
Friday
this one,
9...
Mike.
Oh, did I skip one? Okay. Request for
Yeah.
four-way stop sign at Stanton Street and Everett Street. Fire Chief Scott Duffy.
Just ignored you, Scott.
I think he did. I think he did.
Well, I saw somebody jump out of their seat and then sit back down. So.
Mr. Chairman, Board, thank you for listening to this request this evening. The police and fire department's one of our, obviously we're a response agency, we're first responders. But one of the big things that we do in probably our major job is community risk reduction. The intersection at Stanton Street at Everett Street is it's a quiet area. However, Everett Street, you have to stop when you come to the intersection of Mountjoy. Stanton Street, you can just pass straight through. Over the past 6 months, we've had 2-3 accidents there, the last one being significant. Early in the morning, I responded up there. It's not too far from my home. And the neighbors on Stanton Street were very vocal about what can we do to improve this intersection. I met with Dave Taylor later on that day. We looked at the intersection. We talked about improving the stop sign, maybe some road paint on the Everett Street side. And I had suggested, can we make it a full-way stop? Just make it a complete full-way, very similar to what was done at Eastwater and Liberty. I feel this is a worthwhile program. Dave Taylor thought it was an easy fix. Spoke with Lieutenant Zioli. He as well is in support of this project. So I come to you tonight with the request that if you please approve that we make this a full-way stop intersection.
Would it be the flashing stop sign, Scott?
Dave said he had them on order.
Okay.
I don't know if his plan would be to put those there first or to try it with standard stop
It
signs.
seems
That
to
would
be
be
what we're
up
doing
to-
everywhere now at this point. for
It
four-way
does seem to
stops.
be, and he said that he did have more coming in. Being a quiet residential neighborhood, I don't know if the residents are going to balk at the flashing red
Yeah.
signs. But again, I leave that to Dave. He's our road expert, and he's done an awesome job, so I would leave that to his decision.
Yeah, I think my preference would be that it is a flashing sign, just for the fact that it's existed in the manner it's existed for so long.
Right.
That if you put up just a regular sign, somebody may not see it, and we might end up having accidents again. So,
Right.
So yeah, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Yeah, at least where the stop signs don't exist
Yeah.
today.
Correct, yeah, on the Stanton Street sides.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion in 2 seconds. All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you very much, Board.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Okay, now next on the agenda, Rockland High School District-wide Pink Out Day, Friday, 9/24/2021. Kara Penny, Student Government Advisor. Kara?
Members of our Community Service Committee are going to speak.
Come on up.
School.
Come on up.
How you doing?
Good evening.
Hello, my name is Avery Burke, and this is Sydney Blaney and Sophie Levy. We are here representing our Community Service Committee within Rockland High School Student Government Council. In the recent month, our council has launched a district-wide Pink Out Day.
On Friday, September 24th, Rockland Public Schools plan to participate in a school-wide Spirit Day. We are encouraging students to show their spirit and awareness to the cause of breast cancer by wearing pink to school.
In collaboration with the Rogers Middle School Student Council, we have sold breast cancer t-shirts from August 30th to September 10th district-wide. All proceeds from the shirt sales will go to the American Cancer Society. It is our goal to raise $10,000 for the cause and present them with a check at the walk on Sunday, September 26th. Unfortunately, at this time, we can't accept t-shirt orders. However, if you wish to donate, you can go to our school website to find our fundraiser link.
Since as early as 2008, the Breast Cancer Walk has been a long-standing tradition for Rockland High School students. Having to take a year off last year, we are excited to bring it back stronger than ever.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
You want to provide the website?
RocklandPinkoutShirts.square.site.
Okay.
And if I may ask, how far along are you on your fundraising goal? How much have you raised so far?
I don't know the exact amount, but we are...
Miss Penny?
Yeah.
We are close, around 8,700. We are running a district-wide teacher jean day. So the teachers wear jeans on Friday, and you pay $5 or more if you're feeling generous. So we're hoping that helps, as well as our website for donations to get to that 10 grand. Our website, if you go to rocklandpublicschools.org and you scroll down to the bottom, there is a link to our website there.
Thank you.
Excellent.
So the walk this weekend, do you know how many students planning on participating in that?
Our max was 205, and we're over 180? Yeah.
Are you
Over
really?
180 so far.
And where's the walk lead from?
Boston.
Oh, it's in Boston.
It's in Boston,
It's in Boston.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a total of 4 buses, 4 filled buses so far.
We also have a middle school bus, so there's a little bit over 180. We're close to 200 students going district-wide.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Nope, it's a good thing to do. I worked for 50 years working with women with breast cancer and men with their issues also, and there's been tremendous strides made since the early days, 50 years ago when I first came on board, and treatment of women is much better regarding tumors and malignancy and that sort of thing. And not enough can be done to help eradicate this disease. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but the treatment is much better these days than it was in the past, and it's no longer a sentence that you don't want to hear, because the advances were made in medicine. So keep up the good work, ladies.
Thank you.
It's your future, really. You're the future of America, and you want things to be your way. You got to do exactly what you're doing now. Get involved and stay involved and serve your cause. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you guys obviously didn't do it last year because of COVID.
Yeah, we didn't do it last year.
What was the goal in prior years? Is this the most amount of money that's been raised, Kara?
The past couple years we've raised around like $5,000 between middle school and high school. And our goal was to make this district-wide to come together as a community. So with the middle school and high school, which has been a tradition, this year we opened it up to Jefferson, Memorial Park, and Eston, and they're having a Pink Out Day in their schools as well, and they were able to buy the t-shirts as well. So that's how we were able to raise more money for breast cancer, and we just thought after a year of such separation to bring the whole entire school district. All of Rockland Public Schools are encouraged to wear pink on Friday, next Friday. Nope, this Friday.
Nope, this Friday.
We're just so excited to be able to come together after such a separated year last year.
Awesome. So great job, guys.
I just have one question.
Go ahead.
Could we encourage town hall staff to wear pink as well?
We can. I have already forwarded their
Okay.
information to
Awesome.
town staff earlier before their deadline passed for the T-shirts, and I know, as well as the board
Yeah, we
members,
got
I
the
know.
email
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
sure.
So I want to see the picture if Doug is in something pink on Friday.
The fire chief would be in pink, so Doug and I can take a picture together.
There you go.
Getting bullied.
Keep up the great work. Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, awesome job, ladies. We appreciate it.
so much.
Thank you so much. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, new library license, EFK LLC, 482 Union Street.
I should just note, Mike, that this livery license has already been passed through all the appropriate town departments. Everybody's on board, everything's in order. But
Hello.
The gentleman's here.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
So this adds, so we haven't had an active livery license for a little while. As part of this, what are you looking for? Hours of operation? Are you going to offer services 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, or are you going to have a limited scope on the hours that you operate?
Yeah, basically my livery is basically bought a car, the limousine, and it is associated with the Uber and the Lyft mainly. So I work 12 hours a day max, that is the allow, and after that they switch off my app. So I need that livery license to work with other companies. Those are private. So Boston Airport, they don't let us pick up anyone if we don't have that sticker on my car. As far as Uber and Lyft are concerned, they don't need those stickers. So mainly I need this approval to get the stickers from Massport to put on my car and pick up the riders from them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Any other further questions or concerns?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second. All those in favor?
Thank you very much.
unanimous.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Best wishes with the job.
Thank you. Good luck.
Next on the agenda, designation of Community Floodplain Administrator Tom Rubel.
Sure. So Tom's not here, but we all know Tom, so I think that's okay. If you look through the detail of the floodplain bylaw that we recently passed at town meeting, there's a reference because a town has to formally approve a floodplain administrator, a community floodplain administrator, and it's traditionally the building commissioner or the building inspector. So I consider this to be a bit more of a formality. Tom has always kind of served this function de facto, and so I'd recommend that you make that formal appointment so that we follow the process.
I'll make the motion to appoint Tom Rubel, Community Floodplain Administrator.
I have a motion to have a second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous.
Never let him get away.
Next on the agenda, Rent Control Board appointments. Brian Kane, Eileen Sina, and Carol Ann Primavera.
If I could do a little introduction, Mike? Yep. That's okay? And I'm not sure if any of these individuals are here with us tonight. I don't know them personally.
No.
We did invite them to attend. So I included quite a bit of information in your packet, starting with the town's rent control bylaw, as well as a printout from our website which shows all the various vacancies. And I should highlight that this, per our town bylaw, this committee is supposed to be made up of 2 members that are representatives of landlords, 2 representatives that are tenants, and 3 at-large, or the way the bylaw reads, serve the public interest. So we currently only have 3 members. 2 of the members are tenant reps, so you have the 2 tenant representatives covered, and then the 3rd is a public interest rep. So the 3 forms that you have tonight, 2 would be for the public interest at large, and then the 3rd, you'll notice when you look through the material, including their employer, you can see that the 3rd is a Carol Ann Primavera is the recommendation from one of the landlords, which is Hometown America. So with that, assuming the board votes to appoint all three of these people tonight, there would be one remaining vacancy. That remaining vacancy would need to be another landlord representative to fill out the bylaws requirements. Again, assuming you make these appointments tonight, or I should say, as soon as we have, a few more members appointed, our town council, John Clifford, intends on contacting all of them, setting up a meeting for them to kind of get them going again, basically, because as we've had some people drop out, it's sort of languished a bit, and it's a critically important group, and with town council's, guidance, will help get them going again.
I'll make a motion to appoint Brian Kane, Eileen Sina, and Carol Ann Primavera.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? That's unanimous. Next on the agenda, disclosure by non-elected municipal employee of financial interest, Doug Galemi and Tom Henderson. Doug.
Thanks, Mike. And I should highlight that both Doug and Tom did want to be here tonight, but for a variety of just personal logistical reasons, they weren't able to make it. I want to thank them for going through this process. Since I started, we've been talking about ethics a lot, and they're really going, above and beyond to make sure they're dotting every I and crossing every T. What this involves is these two individuals. Doug Galemi is not a paid employee, but he's the chairman of the town's Conservation Commission, so he's considered to be a non-elected municipal employee by virtue of that position as Concom chairman. And Tom Henderson is both a firefighter within the fire department, and then you also have appointed him to serve on the Southfield Redevelopment Authority, the Union Point Board. So they have those municipal roles. So then separate from that, our highway department has been having a lot of difficulty hiring contractors for certain kind of specialized work, and the work that we're talking about now involves some really kind of hard labor, stump grinding, stump removal, loaming and seeding, things like that, which he's literally been unable to get other qualified contractors. And so Mr. Galemi owns a company, his regular job, that's able to do this work. Mr. Henderson is an employee of Mr. Galemi's company. So given the fact that they are municipal employees and that this is separate municipal work being done by a different department, checking with legal counsel, the right way to do it is just what they've done, which is, fill out these disclosures, explain everything in detail, and then go to their appointing authority. So you appoint Mr. Galemi to the Conservation Commission. That's why his form is before you. Mr. Henderson's form, as it relates to him being a firefighter, would be signed off by the chief, because the chief is his appointing authority. But his form, as it relates to the Southfield, will go to you, because you're the appointing authority to Mr. Henderson for Southfield. So with all that being said, I would recommend signing off, and we'll keep these on file here in Town Hall.
So do we need a motion for that, or?
I don't think so.
I would.
I think ceremoniously.
I would.
Just,
Okay.
I'd prefer it if you don't mind.
I'll make a motion for the non-disclosure agreements with Doug and Tom.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? That's unanimous.
And just to be clear, I know exactly what you meant, Rich, but they're not non-disclosure agreements. They're disclosure.
I mean disclosure.
Yeah, disclosure. I know, you're thinking of, yeah.
I'm in my own,
I know.
my work
fine.
world,
Yeah.
sorry.
Per the paperwork included in your packet.
Next on the agenda, other new business not reasonably anticipated. Doug.
I have none.
None. Number 5, old business, special town meeting recap. Doug.
Yeah, so I guess the main thing, I just wanted to express my thanks for everybody that came to town meeting and participated. I was very happy with how things turned out, especially, those first 4 articles were really critical to the town. I want to thank our Assistant Town Administrator, Jen Constable. She did a lot of work working with both the Planning Board and with outside experts from the federal government and the state government to help us really prepare for the floodplain bylaw better than we did the last time. And it's just fulfilling when we do a better job with something and people get all the information that they need and they feel comfortable voting to support it. So we're I'm just pleased with that, and especially, you know, in a time of COVID, to be able to, you know, not just meet the quorum, but I think we had close to 200 people in the room, which was gratifying. So that was just my personal observation. We'll talk more under Town Administrator report about the land acquisition and the grant. I'll briefly touch on that.
Okay. Any comments about special town meeting from the members? No? Okay.
Nope.
Other old business not reasonably anticipated? None. Next on the agenda, Town Administrator's report and correspondence. Doug.
Thanks, Mike. Just 2 items. Maybe I'll just stick with the town meeting and the open space acquisition. And I won't steal too much of the thunder because Mike and Larry were there with me today, in addition to Donald.
You can steal all the thunder you want.
But,
Mike's really short.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So if you haven't seen it already on social media, I'm very pleased to announce that the town did receive the state grant that we applied for $400,000 to offset the purchase price of the McCarthy Farm land acquisition. And in particular, I think what I'm most proud of with this is that it was a real team effort. The Community Preservation Committee, you know, worked hard and really endorsed this. I want to list the names because the names of these people really put a lot of time into this, but Don Can and Mike Bromberg and Pam Titus from the Open Space Committee and Lorraine Pratt from the Conservation Commission, in addition to the Assistant Town Administrator, Jen Constable, just put in a ton of time putting this grant application together. And it was a 3-ring binder bigger than this here for folks that are curious about it. And also, you know, the team effort didn't just involve the CPC and the Open Space Committee and Conservation and the Administrator's Office, but also our whole financial team, because putting the financial package together took some thought. So I'm just really pleased. So we all know, well, maybe before I get to the next steps, we did have an awards ceremony today in Lowell. And, excuse me, Don Can, as chairman of the Open Space Committee, went with Mike and Larry and me to that event. We did take a picture of Mike with the governor as we were presented with the announcement of the grant. And just for clarification, the governor is 6'6". So I know there's a lot of question about the height differential. He's 6'7".
I think 6'7".
According to the Boston Globe, he's 6'6". So Mike was not standing in a hole. Right there with him.
Mike's 5'6".
Thought he was sitting down.
Okay, I'm 5'9" and 3/4.
And then so the last part of the open space acquisition I just want to highlight for the board is that, as we talked about repeatedly earlier and at town meeting, the next step in the process is for the board to have a public hearing. And at that public hearing, we'll need to notify by certified mail the current landowners so they have an opportunity to come. And that's when you'll make your final decision about whether you want to exercise your option to purchase the property or not. We have 120 days from when it was first offered. That gives us as the last possible date December 2nd. In talking with Mike, I think he'd like to do it a lot sooner, maybe even as soon as our first meeting in October. So I just need to make sure that I have all the information I need from the other opportunities that might be available from the developer that has the signed P&S. So you have all the information in hand where you can then get input and make your decision. So assuming I can get all that information in time, we'll post that. There's no special posting required. It's the normal 48 hours notice plus the certified mail for the current landowners. And in talking with Mike, we're thinking we may look to hold that meeting in a larger room, like possibly the high school auditorium, because it's a public hearing. Public will have an opportunity to give you their feedback, and we could get a lot of good turnout for that meeting. So I'm excited to see where this turns out. Either way, you know, we're in a really strong position with the town meeting vote and a grant in hand. So that's all I have for my report tonight.
Thank you, Doug. Next on the agenda, Selectmen's comments. Comments and opinions expressed by individual members do not necessarily reflect the views of the Board of Selectmen and the opinions and comments of only the individual member. Mr. Penny.
So my comment tonight was, this is a very, very positive meeting. So starting out with Jared and Mr. Haney from Plymouth County Commissioners, and the job that has been done within the town to get those reimbursements, and then finding out we actually have more money available to us, to the holiday stroll coming back, to the Fall Festival that's being done. Couple of things for the high school, for the school system, between the bottle and can drive fundraiser, the pink out, having 3 members step forward in a board that just took a big hit. Those are all exceptionally positive things. Seeing different people step forward to help move this community forward. Volunteers from, for the holiday stroll, for the fall festival, seeing the high school kids up here, seeing just citizens taking an active role. So it's good to see it after what has been some challenging times. And then I almost forgot the $400,000 grant. So just a whole lot of positive things today. So, I think that's great. So that's my comment.
Thank you, Rich. Ms. Needham.
I chime in with my enthusiasm. Congratulations on the grant, and just looking forward, very much looking forward to all of these great things coming up.
Thank you, Tiffany. Selectman Ryan.
It was a beautiful day today in the neighborhood when we get to go to Lowell to pick up the grant. Just happened to be about 100 yards from where Tom lived with his first wife. I mean, with his wife when he was first married. So it was interesting and nice to see everybody there. The weather was great. There was an awful lot of people there to get grants. The state is seemed very pleased to be able to hand out this money to the different towns and entities that they gave it to, and we had 4 guys there, and everybody else had less. So and that was made note of by the people in charge. That wow, you guys really sent a contingent. And I said, because we really want them to know that we appreciate that we got this money, because it's a big help to the town of Rockland to long range preserve our suburban style of living, I guess you'd have to call it. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll let the others talk and say more about it, because they did more work on it than I did.
Thank you, Larry. Ms. Nyman.
I specifically just want to thank Doug and Jen for all their community outreach on the floodplain bylaw over the past few months. I think you really got the information out there, and people trusted what you had to say, and that showed last week at town meeting. So I just want to say thank you for all your efforts on that. I also want to thank my colleagues on the board who were in Lowell today to accept the grant, the chairman and Larry, and of course Doug and Donald Can. So I think it's a win-win for Rockland, and I'm proud to see it.
Thank you, Kara. So first I just want to thank the residents that came out to the special town meeting. Doug, as you said, I was pretty pleased with the results of the special town meeting, the way it ended up. Very pleased with the turnout, and I was very pleased with the positivity. And I think, we didn't see it necessarily coming the first time around with the floodplain, but I thought that the level of detail that you guys presented this time around is probably what we should expect, going forward for a special town meeting or a regular town meeting. If that's what the residents are looking for, then far be it from us to not give them all the information. So I know it's a lot of work for you guys, and I think you, Jen, and Biz have done a great job with everything you guys have done, and I thought Jen did an exceptional job in presenting it, just as you did a great job presenting the McCarthy Farm. There wasn't a question in the room to be asked about it, maybe one, but otherwise it was pretty smooth. I think both of those initiatives went through as unanimous votes, which was great. Today was a good day. Larry said it, and the governor was very tall, and he did make note of the fact that Rockland sent the largest contingency. I took a step forward, and I had 3 people walking behind me. He's like, "Whoa, he sent the whole town." So it was good, because we're going to be going back to them. It's been a while since we've been recognized in this manner. I thought Donald Can, Mike Bromberg, the CPA, and then really the Finance Committee making that vote for the funding. They all did exceptional jobs on this project, and the speed at which they got this information and this grant assembled I remember having a conversation with you, Doug, and with Donald Can, what was it, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago maybe, and it was, are we going to submit the grant, are we not? And we were operating on two different paths trying to get to where we needed to be, and there were some redundancies there and a lot of question whether or not it was necessary or not. And at the end of the day, to steal, a quote from Rich, Rich's famous line, but at the end of the day, the hard work paid off, and we got rewarded for it today. And I want to have this meeting as soon as we possibly can, get it out there and let the residents know what we're thinking with the ability to purchase this land being available to us now. So yeah, it was a really, really good day, and very, very proud of the team that we've assembled in Town Hall, and we, also the teams that we have across the board for appointed officials. There's not enough that can be said about how hard these people work. They don't get paid either, and they do a really good job, and they're top notch. So I appreciate all the hard work from everybody on this project and all the many projects, and we will be seeing the state again because there's a lot of other money to be had by the town of Rockland. So with that said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Penny?
Yes.
Ms. Needham?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Nyman?
Yes.
And myself. That's unanimous. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.